Yeah, I knew what you mean. I just didn't do it. Alright. Be careful.
In today's video, Carolyn and I take on Grand Canyon's Kaibab Trail. I really have never been to the Grand Canyon before, so it was a very special experience. It was something that I wanted to do for a long time. For most of its 6.5 mile length, the South Kaibab Trail follows the top of a ridge and so has extensive views along Grand Canyon in both directions. However, there is little shade. The trail descends 4,820 feet. In total, there is drinking water at the start and at the end, but not in between. As you can see, there's snow on the ground, and normally the Grand Canyon isn't experienced in the snow. You'll find that there were challenges because of it, as you've seen in the beginning. Yes, I fell. It's very slippery as we descend this amazing canyon wall.
I had thought to myself, you should put your camera away right when we got to passing them, and then I didn't. And I don't know why I didn't. And the world went out from underneath me, and my camera came down as hard as I did, and my immediate thought was, oh no, how's my camera? And I didn't really pay attention to how
Her arm just fly back, and then she just lowered. She seemed like she was fine. In the same exact spot, I slipped and I fell.
I fall in the same spot you fall, man.
I was just happy to see her laugh. So me falling in that moment, it really took away some of the tension. We needed that, especially since we wasn't sure if her camera was going to be working properly.
I don't like heights, so looking down was a big challenge. You have to look down, otherwise you don't know where your feet are going. It was pretty majestic. Honestly, I haven't ever seen the Grand Canyon with snow, so that was like an added element that really made it unique and beautiful. And it was towards the end of the day, so we were getting into golden hour. The lighting was really cool. But yeah, it was definitely majestic being down in the canyon. I don't think anything beats the view that we saw starting the Kaibab Trail. I have a shot from there where you can see all the switchbacks, you can see all the snow, and you can see out into the canyon, and like that shot just blows my mind because I don't know, it's a unique perspective to be on the edge of the canyon. You can see what you're about to do. I've been to the Grand Canyon once before, but just to see it, not to hike it. Grand Canyon was exciting. Hadn't really thought that was an option. Never looked into it. So when we got to the trail and saw that it was snowy, and we were losing daylight, I was a little nervous. Never really thought about the Grand Canyon being icy as well. Seems like a dangerous thing to do. Add some ice, lose some traction. It's a little scary.
Now, since it's snowy and icy everywhere on this canyon wall, it took us a lot longer than it normally would. It would have been nice if we had some chains that went on our shoes, because we would have just trotted through all this, no problem. We seen various people with the trotted chains on their shoes, and they were just almost as if they had 4-wheel drive, just moving. But along with all this ice and snow and cold and everything, it was that added element which for me made it an incredible experience. I'm pretty competitive and I like challenges, especially in a majestic place like this. It just really, I don't know, it made it something else. It made it something more. As you can see, I'm sliding down as if I'm on a slide, kind of. Not necessarily a slide, I'm kind of scooting like I'm a little child. And it was very comforting to do. Now, with this canyon pathway being so narrow, it was really interesting to hear that mules are ridden on this pathway. And whenever the mules are out, you have to give them right of way, which makes sense. And this is their home, you know, and you don't want any confusion, so you gotta get out of the way. But it's so narrow, and they don't fall over. There wasn't one accident. I hate to say this, but after looking it up, there was an accident with the mule back in May of 2009. An older woman had a mule accident, the mule losing its footing, falling, and rolling over the customer. When you think about that, that's pretty scary. And although I wasn't going to get on a mule, especially after seeing how narrow the pathways was, I'm hoping the trail that they were on, because it wasn't the Kaibab Trail, it was actually the Angel Trail, I'm hoping it was closer to the canyon floor. That's what it sounds like, as rolling over a customer would mean on these narrow pathways, the mule rolled off the cliff, the drop off, and maybe even the woman rolling off of the drop off and then having the mule's weight tumble over her. But let's move from that, because that didn't happen here, and hopefully it didn't happen again. From this point on, all the slippery areas were done. We didn't have to worry about it. We was able to walk with confidence. We was able to walk at a normal hiking pace. And it was really, really comforting, because the sun was shining, providing a lot of heat. I would say around this time, without the sun, it's probably somewhere around 30 degrees. It's super cold, but the sun made it seem like 60. We're able to take our cameras out and take pictures without worrying about slipping, and it was great. I really love these stair-like pathways, and to provide context, when the National Park Service gained control of the Grand Canyon in 1919, one of its first goals was to establish authority and consolidate control of the area, especially at Grand Canyon Village. One aspect of this included gaining quick, easy access to the Inner Canyon and the Colorado River. For 5 years, the National Park Service negotiated with Ralph Cameron in an attempt to gain control of the Bright Angel Trail. Cameron operated the trail, the only one in the Grand Canyon Village area that reached the Colorado River. As a toll road, he refused to give up his claim. Frustrated, National Park Service officials decided to build their own trail. They achieved this by constructing the South Kaibab Trail and later the North Kaibab Trail to complete the first Trans-Canyon Trail in the popular Grand Canyon Village area. When we got to the checkpoint, it was an overlook. I really loved seeing the overlook. It kind of reminded me of Lion King's Pride Rock. If you go over there and stand out there on the end, you probably feel like a king, or I don't know, inspired or energized. It's being in an area where you can see just that vast landscape of canyon. I don't know, it's a fun place to be.
Appreciate that, babe. So, we're getting ready to do our ascend. It was really, really tough making our descend. And I got a lot of good footage of that. So what I want to do, I want to record us getting our ascend. My battery's gone, so I'm changing my battery so that I can get everything I need hands-free. I know it's taking a while, but part of this process is just to make sure we get enough time of rest before we go into dangerous waters. And those waters
Are frozen.
are frozen. That's what we're gonna be walking on. We realized it was dangerous on our descent, and now we're more prepared. So, I appreciate you bearing with us while we do this. And wish us luck. If you see this video, I'm still alive. Okay, I'm good.
So now it's time to head back up. And it was a bit of a race against the sun, as the sun was starting to set, and we knew without that sun, it was gonna be really, really cold. We didn't want them problems. So it was time to head up. It was tiring. Fatigue was setting in. Going up is a lot more strenuous than going down. Even though going down was challenging. It seems like maybe there were mules out there today. Or perhaps maybe the day before. While the sun was getting ready to set, we still noticed other people ascending the mountain, the canyon. I mean, a lot of people are just really adventurous. Maybe we have a lower tolerance to cold than other people. It was really, really fun to be able to conversate with some of the people in passing, letting them know it's really slippery, as they were experiencing that themselves. But it was just fun because, I mean, someone had to do it for us too. Letting us know that you're gonna get to a point where it's not as slippery, so just keep going. We've seen her slip quite a few times. Getting to the top pretty quickly. It definitely was a lot easier going up than going down, even though it was strenuous. It wasn't bad. For some reason, this group of people assumed I was getting ready to toss this block of ice downward or onward. Why would I throw ice down the canyon? There's people down there walking. What do people take me for? At this point, we're pretty much at the top, and it is really, really cold at this point. But Carolyn wanted to catch the sunset, so I guess we have one more destination, which is just past this area, so that we can watch the sunset a bit. That's one of Carolyn's things. She loves the sunsets. I want to say we attempted to catch the sunset just about every day, or should I say every evening on this trip.
I mean, it was gorgeous. You can't beat the Grand Canyon at sunset on a snowy day. I mean, like really just so many moments of like where we were, what we had seen. It's one of the seven wonders of the world. And we got to see it at a very unique time of year, a very unique time of day. It was really cool to watch the light kind of like leave certain areas of the canyon, like as the sun dipped below different rock ledges. There were kind of like beams of light going through the canyon. The sky was very pink, but I mean, yeah, I always want a spectacular sunset. I'm always hoping for like majestic clouds and cool things, but no, I couldn't ask for more. So, as the sunset finished, the shuttle bus arrived. I started to run. Andre kept behind because he was a little slower, quick. So, there's a nice patch of cement. I turned around and said, Drake, watch out, it's icy. And then you can see the dome was falling. Figured neither of us fell. And then at the parking lot, I got the mask because COVID. Get it on. And all of a sudden I realized I'm alone. And I look out, Andre is standing on the sidewalk. I was like, is he playing? I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. Like, get on the shuttle. I'm not leaving without, I can't leave without you. I'm not getting off this bus. He looks at me
Got an extra one?
with his face. I don't know what he was trying to say, but I just motioned. I was like, get on the bus. So he walks on. He's got his shirt pulled up over his face. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know where it is. So he's got the ride back to the parking lot with his hoodie pulled down, zipped up, tied on his face.